What's going on, everyone? We hope you had a great trading day today. Around 83% of stocks in the S&P 500 popped up in the green today, and there was a lot of bullishness and euphoria across the entire market. The S&P 500 is actually on an 8 trading day win streak right now. So in today's video, we're going to cover what this means going forward, some historical stats associated with markets like this one, and some of the best stocks to keep on your radar for tomorrow. We have a lot to talk about and a lot to cover for this week because we we have a big week ahead of us. So with that being said, Tom, let's not waste any time and let's jump right into it.
Yeah, the SPY continued its assault to the upside today, Mike, and the SPY's almost right back up to 560 today. I can't even believe I'm saying that. Now, I could have seen a pretty good breakout coming in, but was I expecting SPY to run up this much? I personally wasn't, but it was a good thing to see, and once the SPY broke out above the high from Friday, we really started to see that good price action and momentum come in this morning. Like, once 556 was broken, it was pretty much up all day long from that point. There was actually some chop right around open, but nonetheless, Mike, whenever you have a heat map that looks that green, I mean, you're gonna have some good movement, right? And I know that the tech stocks are easy to look at, like Nvidia and AMD, but even others like McDonald's, Disney, Comcast, Bookings, Airbnb, all did very well today too, even including Tesla. So it was a very good day for the broader market, right? Not just tech stocks, but of course tech stocks do help. But overall, Mike, I mean, the SPY's on an 8-day winning streak. It's continuing to go up. And hey, when was the last time we've had an 8-day winning streak, right? It's been a little while considering we just had this big drop off over the past month.
Exactly, and this is actually the 54th 8-day winning streak since 1950, and looking at some historical data associated with it, we can see 8-day winning streaks are, naturally rare, but they're not as rare as you might think. As we can see by looking at the chart, when these winning streaks do happen, the market tends to be, as you'd expect, pretty strong, and as we look more specific at the data table on the right, we can see that 1 month after an 8-day winning streak happens, around 66% of the time, the market ends up being higher than it was. And we can see on average, it ends up rising by around 1.2% with a median return of 1.5%. As you go out further in time, like to the 3-month and 6-month and then even 12-month stats, you can see how the market tends to do better and better, generally speaking. Now, this is great to see, and while it's awesome to look at past historical data, it's important to always, keep in mind that just because stats are saying one thing, understand that the current situation, the current environment is naturally a little bit different than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, exactly, especially this year, considering that it's an election year and everything going on in the world, right? I want to say the Middle East, but of course Ukraine and Russia, that's a pretty big situation as well. And overall, we're just seeing a lot of tensions across the globe. And with it also being an an election year, that's going to be a very big deal for the market, in my opinion. There's a lot of data and stuff that suggests that election years are a little bit different than like the average year out there in the market, Mike, but I know that this year has been pretty hot, right? Like if we go and we look at the SPY on like a daily chart, it's been pretty much ripping up all year long. And hey, 2023 was pretty good too, right? That was another really good year. And Mike, I can't believe how close 2024 and 2023 actually are to each other. Now, this year is going to be a little bit different in my opinion, especially as we get to November with that election coming on. But I mean, it's pretty weird to see that, it's a spitting image of each other pretty much on the chart here.
I know it, right? And like you said, while that's great to see, this year is an election year, so that's going to make for some I don't even want to say slight. It's going to make for some important differences. The first thing is that as we look at any, you could say, stock market data right now, whether it be seasonality or historical statistics with 8-day winning streaks or anything else, things are pretty bullish right now. Even when you look at the heat map and the news and anything else, we are in a euphoric situation. And while that's awesome, in order to capitalize off of it the right way, you have to continuously be looking for disconfirming evidence as well and be willing to adapt no matter what happens. Right now, bulls are in control, and there's a lot of opportunity riding that uptrend. Just make sure that you don't get married to, let's say, the bull thesis and make sure that when we do eventually see I guess you could say a turn in sentiment, a shift in momentum, that you are going to put yourself in a position to benefit from that. A lot of that comes to just having good, healthy trading habits and sticking to stop losses and being willing to change your thesis, especially when the sentiment turns. But yeah, we definitely wanted to showcase some of that great historical market data, especially with the 8-day win streak, because it shows that bulls are in control right now. And as we look at today's heat map, some of the stocks that are like really sticking out are, of course, as you could guess, Nvidia, but even Tesla and Google and McDonald's, like you said, are showing a lot of great strength. So keep a very close eye on like the tech industry right now, especially big tech stocks, because they're running with some power.
Yeah, they really are. And, whenever we go back to the major chip stocks like NVIDIA, I mean, you look at it in the short term, it's all the way back up to $130. If we go to the daily chart, it's not far off of the all-time high. And honestly, neither is the SPY, right? If we have one more good green day like we had today, SPY's pretty much going to be at all-time highs. And I would not be surprised to see a test here, maybe towards the end of this week or the middle of this week, of course. But heading into this week, Mike, this overhead resistance / all-time high up around 265 will be very, very important. Just be aware, if you are a bull right now, bulls are in control. Keep riding the wave up. There's great intraday opportunities there. Just be aware there could be a double top situation there. We've seen that happen quite a bit with the SPY, and it doesn't mean that it's going to hit and totally reject back down. We might just see a bit of a slowing, up around that 565 mark. So just keep that in mind over the next few trading days as you're going through like these all-time highs being tested.
No doubt. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. But as we talked about a lot in yesterday's video, let's also keep a close eye on gold, silver, and other precious metals, because that's an area of the market that moves a little bit differently than your normal big tech stock, but at the same time has some real reasons for the uptrend happening right now. Of course, we have rate cuts expected pretty soon, and when you just have global tensions building, whether it be in the Middle East or Europe or even in Asia or other parts of the world, a lot of people resort and flock to safe haven assets like gold and silver. Gold fell a little bit today, but it has been on a strong uptrend and it's at record highs. And at the same time, silver, while it's not at record highs yet, it is seeing a lot of good inflows and strong bullish momentum. So SLV and GLD should be on everyone's radar, especially over these next couple weeks. And honestly, even until we head up to the election.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are like, well, hey, how can I maybe protect my account, for an election year coming up? Like, what if I want to maybe hedge myself or, in case we start to see some extra volatility pick up, what would be something to hold? Personally, I like the GLD big money plays. We've talked about quite a few of those. We've even looked at GDX, NEM, and a couple others recently as well that have been doing very well in the short term. GDX is pretty fire as well. If you're looking at other like gold-related stocks or silver-related stocks, that's definitely another one to keep your mind on. But Mike, these big money plays have been killing it. I don't know about you, but the big money might have been expecting something here with these miners and just gold stocks.
Yeah, they sniped it with the mining and then that gold play for sure. So that's awesome to see, but we definitely cannot forget about the giant events scheduled for this week because, like I said in the intro, we're set for a crazy week ahead of us.
Yeah, we are, Mike, and switching over to the economic calendar, tomorrow we're going to have a few Fed speakers, but nothing too crazy. On Wednesday, we are going to have the FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Eastern time, so be ready for that. But the big day is really going to be Friday. That's where Powell's going to be speaking at the Jackson Hole Symposium. It's going to be a huge event, and we're going to mention this a ton throughout the week, so make sure you guys are coming back to check out the nightly videos because we'll definitely have a lot more information as the week goes on about that. And then, Mike, of course, we are in earnings season. Tomorrow, we have Lowe's reporting in the morning. Donkey Horse, shout out to Cornish there for coining that one. But they'll be reporting XPEV in the morning as well. So that's pretty much it, though. Earnings season is dying down. Target and Snowflake will be on watch later in the week, along with Zoom as well.
Awesome. And then with Zoom, Tom, I saw that one was having a pretty nice pre-earnings run-up, which is something we haven't seen in quite a while with this stock. It has been... It's been brutal over the past couple of years for Zoom. Ever since, like, the end of like 2020 and 2021, this stock has just been like non-stop, just been selling off like every month. So we'll see if the sentiment has turned, but we're going to need a nice shift in sentiment and outlook from the Zoom team. So we'll see what happens, but I'd like to see this sort of price action.
Me too. It's awesome in the short term. It's a great run. 3% here in the short term. That support down around 55 to 56 is amazing. I will say for the next couple days, keep your eyes on $60 even with Zoom, but maybe the earnings could get us like a nice push up and through there. And I will say this, Mike, Zoom is the kind of stock that, like, let's say that they do have a good report. I could actually see them gapping up in a pretty significant way. You know, if we go to some of these other earnings reports in the past, there's been some pretty good movement coming off of those. Now, of course, not every earnings report is going to cause a crazy run-up or anything like that, but that is something that I will be looking for on Zoom, and I'm sure a lot of people have been averaging into this one with shares as it's been dropping too.
No doubt. All right, Tom. Well, as we look at the market as a whole right now, we're getting closer and closer to record highs. So what are the key levels to watch in both directions for SPY?
Yeah, tomorrow, 560 is going to be the major level to watch. In pre-market this morning, there was a really weird print up to like 559.50 to 560. Overall, that could be a glitch, but I'm really watching that 560 resistance there. I just don't want anybody to get confused by that print there in the pre-market. But if we end up breaking 560, I'm going to be watching for 562, 564, and then the all-time high right around 565 right after that. So I guess the official all-time high is just slightly past 565, but I would just look at 565 as a nice whole dollar mark there, Mike. But those are going to be some major resistances. Personally, I think that we'll hit those and start to at least slow up a little bit in the short term, and then I'll be using 555, 554, 552, and then 548 to 550 as major supports for tomorrow if it does end up pulling back a little bit. But, you know, overall, the bulls are in control right now, and until we start to see a major rejection, I'm not going to be fighting the trend, that's for sure.
No doubt. Follow the money. All right, well, let's get right into some setups and predictions for tomorrow. A stock I mentioned yesterday and I'm still watching very closely is NEM. This is a gold mining company, and as you can imagine, it has a lot to benefit with gold prices now at record highs. Looking at NEM's stock chart, the price action has been great, and the stock it's basically just been stair-stepping up for like the past couple months, which is awesome. It's gaining more and more momentum, and as gold prices are running at all-time highs, that'll bring even more attention and just bullish pressure, not only into gold, but also the whole gold / precious metals industry as a whole. So as I look at NEM, I definitely like the reward to risk in the upside with the short term. This is not just a play for tomorrow, but it's also a play for like the next couple weeks and the next couple months, as gold tends to move in a slower but more consistent way than you could say your average big tech stock. So with that being said, NEM is still on my bullish radar.
Yeah, I love it in the short term. These gold plays / silver are amazing, and I'll be having one here in just a moment. But with my first play, I'm looking at MGM to the upside. It was up 3% today. Whenever I go to the daily chart, MGM has been recovering up very well from this dip where it touched the support around $34 to $35. I'm just going to be looking for a good continuation. There's a gap to fill on the chart up to around $41.30, so I'll be kind of targeting that. But it closed today right around $40, and I like this whole dollar mark. So if we see a good open tomorrow and a push past $40.15, then I'll keep watching MGM up. But there's just so much good strength in the short term that I'll just keep watching for this good continuation and possible gap fill in the short term.
Sounds good. All right, another stock I'm watching pretty closely is Fiverr, FVRR. This one popped by over 5% today, and this stock isn't as widely known or as popular as a stock like Nvidia or Apple or Google or anything else like that, but it is a growth stock that is starting to gain a lot of momentum, especially as the market strengthens. As we look at Fiverr, it has basically been stuck in this range around like 22 to like 20 $6 a share for the past couple of months. They already recently reported earnings, and again, they're really starting to gain the upwards bullish momentum that they've just been lacking for all of this time. With that being said, as we look at this stock on a more, I guess we can call zoomed out basis, we can see the stock is still very oversold in the grand scheme of things, and it definitely is presenting a really good reward to risk skew. So either way, FVRR is definitely on my bullish radar going forward, and while this definitely has a lot of potential for tomorrow, there's also opportunity with it in like a medium term sense as well, so like in terms of like the next couple of weeks and months. So either way, keep this one close on watch.
I love this lower channel here, and we're seeing a lot of these stocks, especially these growth stocks, start to break out of some of these lower channels, and if FVRR can start to really break out here, it'll present an amazing short-term opportunity. I'm definitely going to be keeping them on the radar as well. With my next play, I'm looking at SLV, and how could we not, right? Silver is doing so well in the short term. Same thing with gold. And, you know, while gold was a little flat today, silver actually had a lot of momentum. It was up 1.5%, and a lot of the options did very well on SLV. So I'm going to keep watching them up in the short term, keep looking for nice bullish inflows on these stocks. And for the next major resistance coming up, I'm going to be looking for like 2720 on SLV. So it would be nice to at least get there tomorrow, but nonetheless, I'm watching silver up, of course, with the global tensions and everything like that that's coming into play. It's making a big... It's going to make for a big difference here in the short term. So just keep watching. There's a lot of good inflows right now. And I love the dip with silver too, Mike. Like, it's not like, you know, we're right at resistance or anything like that. We're right in the middle of the range. And I could see us testing these recent highs here over the next couple months.
Yeah, I'm a fan, and for as long as this bullish pressure with precious metals keeps up, SLV has a lot to gain, and, you know, it moves in a little bit of a different way compared to gold, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes you can get more momentum-filled moves out of SLV than you can with GLD, so either way, Tom, I'm going to be watching this one pretty closely, so great stuff there, and let's jump right into today's momentum plays. And with the first one, we have Intel to the upside.
INTC has been getting crushed, but in the short term, they're actually starting to break back out pretty well, and they're right at resistance. So if they're able to break 2170, then keep watching them up.
All right, with the next one, we have Lucid, also to the upside.
Lucid Motors, another one of those growth stocks that just keeps seeing good inflows in the short term. They're right around resistance as well. If they can break out above $3.30, then look at them up.
All right, and then with the last one, we have Meta for both directions.
Yeah, ticker symbol META, looking pretty good in the short term. They have been flat the past couple days, though. So I'm watching them. I'm watching 523 to the downside. If they break that, then watch them down. And I'm going to watch 530 to the upside. That's a pretty good whole dollar level. And I'm really watching 530 to 531. And we can see this on the book map, how good of a resistance this really is. There's a lot of shares stacked around 530. There's even some minor shares stacked around 531. So I'm just going to continue to watch that level very close. If we see a good break of 531, then I'll be watching Meta back up. And even 523, which I mentioned to the downside, has some big buyers on there on the chart too. So shout out to Bookmap once again for the levels. I wouldn't have found 523 without them.
You know it. And if you guys haven't already tried out Bookmap, definitely check it out using that first link in the description and the comments down below. That's how you're able to see exactly where the buyers and sellers are sitting there waiting. And you can save using that first link in the description and the comments down below. A special offers icon will appear, and there's some pretty nice discounts there for you. But besides that, Tom, let's jump right into today's big money trade. And we are looking at ticker symbol KBR. Today, the big money made a bullish trade on KBR, and as they put around $550,000 into some call options. Now, this is going to sound a little bit complex at first, but don't worry, I'm going to walk through it nice and simply. Essentially, what the big money did is they bought the 70 strike call options for November 15th of 2024, and at the same time, they shorted the 75 strike call options, again for the same expiration of November 15th of 2024. Essentially, this is a bullish position where the big money will profit as long as KBR goes up. A maximum profit will be achieved if the stock is at $75 or greater, but they need this stock at least, at very minimum, to go past $70 just for this trade to have value. So looking at KBR, the stock has been uptrending in a very strong way all year long. and the stock is getting closer to recent highs. It just bounced strongly off that $62 support, and I'll definitely keep a close eye on this stock going forward, because when we have, you could say, more advanced big money trades like this one, where it's technically a call debit spread, while it seems more complicated, it gives us a lot more detail as to what the big money's doing and to how bullish they are. So either way, keep KBR on your radar.
Yeah, it's a very interesting stock. You know, whenever you look at it on a day-by-day basis, it doesn't seem like it has like the most momentum ever, but whenever you zoom out on the chart, some of the swings that this stock can have are pretty insane, like over some time, right? And with KBR, you know, this is a pretty or I would say more complex big money trade compared to what a lot of people would like to have, obviously. But just keep in mind, it is a spread. And like Mike said, it does kind of show us what the big money's doing a little bit, you know, with some more certainty, right? If it's just a single strike, it's not or single leg to the option, it's not necessarily as accurate. But nonetheless, I do like this, Mike. It's a stock that whenever it starts to run, it runs in a pretty good way. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it test those recent highs around like 68.50 to 69 over the next few weeks. And if that happens, this big money play will look pretty awesome, as I'm sure that we'll get into that $70 range and potentially break up towards 75. Like you said, the max profit there would be 75. So hopefully we get there, right?
Yeah, we'll see. So either way, keep this stock close on watch going forward. But as we look at the market for tomorrow, there's a lot of bullish momentum right now. So let's continue to navigate this market in a smart, strategic, disciplined way. The best thing you can do is to have a plan before you enter any trade out there. Whether you're bullish or bearish, it doesn't really matter. You have to be able to adapt with the market as it changes, and make sure even if you do, let's say, have a thesis and it ends up being wrong, that's all right. You just have to make sure that you position yourself so whether you are right or wrong on any given trade, that your account will survive and be open and able to profit off of opportunities in the future. So definitely check out the Stocked Up Discord. The link for that will be in the description down below. We have a great community there, and we preach smart trading habits all the time. But Tom, while you're in the Discord, we want to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, Nugget, who said account P&L finally hit 101%. Thank you, Mike and Tom, for all the good info to make me a better trader. So awesome stuff there. We love to see posts like this one, and keep up the great work going forward. If you guys are new to this channel, consider demolishing the subscribe button to get our videos recommended to you more often. We post brand new videos all the time and cover charts and information that you would have never otherwise seen. In every single video, we cover big money trades and predictions, and even SPY levels as well. So consider joining the Stocked Up crew by smashing that subscribe button. Besides that, thank you all so much for watching. We have a very exciting week ahead of us as we have the Jackson Hole Symposium on the schedule. So be ready for some crazy moves and a lot of opportunities. Besides that, thank you so much for watching, and let's have an amazing day in the market tomorrow.